BoxingDie.com, aka Mr. Holla at your motherfucking boy. So I'm talking about the fight of the year, Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Vasyl Lomachenko. That is going down. It is official. I believe it's going down in New York. And, this is really good news. I mean, what more can I say about this particular fight? Two Olympic gold medalists stepping into the ring versus each other. That's just epicness in itself. You know what I mean? Now, of course, this fight is kind of happening under, I want to say, sour pretenses, you could say, because Rigondeaux is going up to 130 pounds to fight Lomachenko. And, again, Rigondeaux is a very small guy. And I say again because I did a video a while back, maybe a few years back, where I was talking about the circumstances surrounding this fight. You know what I mean? And it's 2 years later, here we are in the very same situation. Although we have a good fight with a question mark at the end. Because at the end of the day, Rigondeaux is moving up 2 weight divisions to fight Lomachenko, when it didn't really have to be that way. Lomachenko probably could have gone down to 126, and they could have met at 126 to fight. But we're not getting that. We're getting a full 130 pounds. Rigondeaux having to go up 2 weight divisions to fight Lomachenko. So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, full credit to Lomachenko if he beats Rigondeaux. But it won't be the best version of Rigondeaux if he does manage to pull off the win. You know what I mean? I think that Lomachenko should have fought him at 126. He should have. He really should have, because there's gonna be a question mark at the end of his win, should he actually win the fight, as opposed to Rigondeaux. If he managed to win the fight, Rigondeaux gets more than full credit, okay, for going up 2 weight divisions, beating a bigger guy, a guy that's supposed to be pound for pound #1. Full credit goes to Rigondeaux if he manages to go in there and beat Lomachenko. And I don't care how he beats him, whether it's a split decision victory, whether it's a unanimous decision, whether he knocks him out, whatever. I don't care, even if he gets hit in the balls twice and Lomachenko gets disqualified, okay? No matter how he wins, full credit goes to Guillermo Rigondeaux if he manages to pull off this victory. So, I really think that Lomachenko, for his own sake, should have just gone down to 126 and fight Rigondeaux. But he didn't. And we have a fight at 130. And you know what? I'm still happy. Fuck it. You know what I mean? All right, but aside from all that shit, all right, let's go ahead and break down this fight. Because in this video, I'm going to break down the fight, and I'm going to give my predictions on what I believe is going to happen in the fight, okay? All right, so without further ado, okay, let me break down the fight like how you guys know I like to do. I like to break down the fight by talking about the attributes of the fighters, okay? Now, let's start with speed, okay? Now, when you look at speed, I think that Rigondeaux is probably going to be the speedier guy. And let me explain, because Lomachenko is not a slow guy either. As a matter of fact, he's very fast. As a matter of fact, he wins a lot of his fights with his speed. But for Rigondeaux, it's a little different. I think that Rigondeaux, his lighter weight is going to kind of give him the advantage in speed in general. Both of these guys are pretty fast, though. They both have really fast reflexes. They both have really fast feet. I think Rigondeaux has the faster feet. Overall, I think he has the ability to get in and out of the way a little bit better than Lomachenko. But Lomachenko is not far behind in that category. I think Lomachenko can definitely get in and out of the way very quickly as well. Man, this is a very evenly matched fight. But anyway, I think Lomachenko throws the faster combinations. But I think that Guillermo Rigondeaux is a little faster on the draw. I think that I think his timing is a little bit better, making him kind of faster. You know what I mean? Like, when you have good timing, you can kind of negate someone's raw speed or raw power. You know what I mean? And I think that Rigondeaux's faster and has better timing with his hands and feet. giving him the advantage in that category if they're going speed for speed. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to say, like, give anyone an advantage when it comes to like raw speed, but I think that Rigondeaux just has the advantage when it comes to his efficiency with timing and getting in and out and that sort of thing. All right, so that category goes to Rigondeaux. And again, this is all subjective. You know what I mean? Of course, you're gonna have your opinions about all these attributes, but these are my opinions. This is what I think. Okay. All right, so I think that Rigondeaux has the advantage when it comes to speed. Now let's talk about the power, and I'm going to try to go through these relatively quickly because I don't want this video to be too long. But let's go to the power. So I think that Lomachenko, of course, the bigger guy, the stronger guy, he's going to have somewhat the advantage when it comes to power. But I don't want to give him the overwhelming advantage. Honestly, Lomachenko, when you look at how he fights, he doesn't really knock people out with power. He really knocks people out with the volume of punches that he throws and lands, and he really frustrates his opponents. He doesn't really hurt them. He frustrates them and forces them to give up, which in a way I guess is really impressive. That's very impressive. But I don't think that his power is what people think it is. It's not. I don't think he has a lot of power. A lot of his punches are pity pat punches. He doesn't really get full extension on a lot of those punches. Of course, that's a product by design, but I think that overall his power isn't all that good. As opposed to Rigondeaux with his left hand is kind of deadly. All right, Rigondeaux has one shot at people and knocked them out cold. You know what I mean? As opposed to Lomachenko, he more so wears his opponents down and then kind of knocks them out or gets them out of there. So I still give Lomachenko the edge when it comes to power because he's the bigger guy. But I don't think Rigondeaux's too far behind in that particular category because of that one-shot knockout power he has from that left hand. Okay? So that's power. All right. The next thing I want to get into is the technical skill. Now, this is very difficult because technical skills, I always say it's a matter of what you like as opposed to what it is. But no matter what you like, both of these guys exude technical abilities. They're both fundamentally good. They both do everything well. They're both very technical, okay? And they beat people with their technical skills. It's very hard to say who's better technically, okay? So all I can do is really talk about what I like, all right? I'll say that I like Rigondeaux's style better. I like his technical skills better because Rigondeaux gets hit a lot less to me than Lomachenko. Lomachenko, he uses his good conditioning and stamina to kind of wear down his opponents, all right, walking them down and, battle of attrition kind of deal, as opposed to Rigondeaux. He just really outskills his opponents, okay? He makes them look horrible, okay? Makes them miss, makes them pay, walks him in the counter left hands, walks him in the shots, and then meanwhile he's not getting hit, okay? And then when he does get hit, it's like few and far in between. Like, I've never seen Rigondeaux get hit or like a 2-3 punch combination. Like, I've never seen that shit before in my life. As opposed to like Vasyl Lomachenko, I've seen him get hit. So that kind of brings me to the next category of technical skills, which is defense. So I think that Rigondeaux by far has a better defense than Lomachenko, okay? I think that even though Lomachenko's good, he relies a little bit too heavily on his reflexes, okay? He's not defensively sound. The guy gets hit, and there's nothing wrong with getting hit. You're in the hurt business. You're bound to get hit in the sport of boxing. But for Rigondeaux, like I said earlier, I've never seen Rigondeaux get hit with like a 2-3 punch combination. Usually when you catch Rigondeaux, it's with one good shot. One shot and it might hurt him because Rigondeaux's been down, I believe, a few times in his career. But that's pretty much about it. You're not going to hit Rigondeaux with 2 and 3 punches at a time. You're going to hit him with one shot. You better hurt him with that one shot, and that's all there is to it. All right. If you don't hit him with that one shot, he's going to beat the dog shit about you. So that's pretty much what's going to happen there. All right. So overall, let's look at the 4 major categories. I gave Rigondeaux the speed. I gave Lomachenko the power. I gave Rigondeaux the technical skill, and I gave Rigondeaux the defense. Okay, those are the 4 major attributes in my opinion. Okay, Rigondeaux leads 3 out of the 4 attributes, in my opinion. Okay, so that kind of gives Rigondeaux an edge. Okay, this is part of the reason why I believe Rigondeaux will end up winning this fight ultimately. All right, but aside from those 4 major attributes, we also have intangible things that we need to look at in order to kind of get a proper assessment of the fight. Okay, so let's look at the weight. Clearly, that's the weight is something that we have to pay attention to. The fact of the matter is, Lomachenko is a 135 pounder, really. Okay, fighting at 130, so he's clearly the bigger guy, and Rigondeaux could probably still fight at 119. Okay, so realistically speaking, you're talking about a guy fighting someone 3 weight divisions bigger, 3 to 4 weight divisions bigger than he is. Okay, so I'd say that that's a huge gap, and I say that that definitely gives Lomachenko an advantage when it comes to the weight. You know what I mean? I mean, if he can properly and effectively utilize that weight of advantage, it's going to be hard for Rigondeaux to win, to overcome those advantages. But I think overall, Rigondeaux will be able to do it. But it will make for a very interesting fight. I'm just saying. Okay, so the weight's something we clearly got to look at. The heart, we got to look at the heart. I think that both of them have displayed tons and tons of heart, especially Rigondeaux. We've seen Rigondeaux on the floor. We've seen him get up. We've seen him fight back. We've seen him win fights after being on the floor. So Rigondeaux, I would say, would have to give the edge when it comes to the heart advantage. So we got Lomachenko with the weight, Rigondeaux with the heart. And then let's look at the chin. We got to give Lomachenko the edge when it comes to chin. I've never seen Lomachenko hurt too bad. I've never seen him dropped. All right. Rigondeaux, on the other hand, we've seen him hit with 1 or 2 good shots and put on the ground. So that kind of tells the story that his chin is a little bit suspect, especially fighting someone who's going to be 3 and 4 weight divisions bigger than him. If he gets caught clean, it could literally be an early night for Rigondeaux. Okay. So we have to give Lomachenko the edge when it comes to the chin. Rigondeaux's chin is a little bit suspect. That's one thing that I'm a little worried about going into this fight, because again, if he gets hit with something flush, something nice, then he's going to go down. All right, so chin, that's another category. All right, so when we break down those intangible things, Lomachenko has the edge in chin, Rigondeaux has the edge in heart, Lomachenko has the edge in weight. Okay. All right, so I think we knocked out all those kind of oh yeah. One more thing we want to look at too. 2 more things. I'm sorry. Experience. That's the first thing we want to look at. Experience is definitely an important attribute to look at, because your experience pretty much tells the story on whether or not you're ready for this particular fight in your career. You can have all the technical experience in the world, or technical skill in the world, should I say. But if the fights that you had prior to the one you're going into don't help to prepare you for this fight, then you're going to be at a disadvantage, okay, strategically, because you haven't been in the ring with someone like that before. So you're literally making all your adjustments mid-fight. Okay, you're not coming into the ring with any knowledge or any understanding of that kind of fighter. Okay, and I know that both Rigondeaux and Lomachenko have 400 plus amateur fights, whatever. Okay, but this is the pros. Okay, this is the pros. This is different. All right, 12 rounds. This is different. Okay, so when it comes to the experience, I'd have to say that their experience is pretty equal. I mean, both of them have about 10 fights. Both of them have fought, for the most part, equal levels of competition. I think Lomachenko has a little more notable names on his record than Rigondeaux, like, for example, Nicholas Walters and Rocky Martinez. Although Rigondeaux is kind of like in the same boat. He has Nonito Donaire, and he has a few other guys that are on his record, kind of giving him a lot of experience in that category as well. So overall, when it comes to experience, man, and I made that whole long rant about experience, but overall, I have to say that they're pretty equal when it comes to experience. I don't think that Lomachenko has more experience. I don't think that Rigondeaux really has more experience. I think that they're pretty equal there. And then we have the boxing IQ. That's something we definitely got to talk about. I think that Rigondeaux is definitely the smarter fighter. Rigondeaux is definitely the guy who is more prone to control a fight, and he can control a fight in different ways. I think that he has a little bit more versatility about him and what he can do than Lomachenko. Now, not far off, because both of these guys clearly have superior boxing IQs in order for them to make it to the Olympics twice. You know what I mean? But I think that Rigondeaux is just a little bit more versatile than Lomachenko. So I give him the edge when it comes to boxing IQ. All right. So I think we kind of got through pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about for this particular breakdown. But after assessing all the attributes, let's summarize what I got. I got Rigondeaux with the speed, Lomachenko with the power, Rigondeaux with the technical skills, Rigondeaux with the defense, Lomachenko with the weight, Rigondeaux with the heart, you know what I mean? Rigondeaux with the technical boxing ability, and equal when it comes to experience, okay? So in all those categories, pretty much you can see that Rigondeaux has the advantage. Now, what I think it's going to come down to at the end of the day, I think it's going to come down to Lomachenko's punching power at the end of the day. I think that, and Lomachenko definitely has the edge when it comes to punching power, but I think that if Lomachenko can't hurt Rigondeaux, he's going to have a problem beating Rigondeaux. Okay, another thing that I think it's going to come down to, okay, Rigondeaux being able to time Lomachenko effectively. Lomachenko is very experienced, okay? He's very good at mixing up his timing and his movement, all right? He's very good at doing different things, okay? One thing that you definitely want to avoid with Rigondeaux is being predictable, because if he can predict you, he can time you. These guys are both really good with timing, but the last person you want to be fighting with predictability is someone like a Guillermo Rigondeaux. So I think that Rigondeaux being able to time Lomachenko is going to be a key factor. I think that Rigondeaux being able to take Lomachenko's punching power is going to be a key factor. I think that those will really be the biggest factors ultimately, okay? Those will really be the biggest factors. I think that Rigondeaux will be able to do give a lot of different looks in the ring. But if he can't figure out Lomachenko's timing in order to be active enough, or in order to kind of hurt Rigondeaux enough, or hurt Lomachenko enough to kind of get by, then it's going to be very tough for him. Because Lomachenko, one thing we know about Lomachenko, he's going to be very active. He's going to be very hands-on, especially fighting somebody who's a lot smaller. He's going to be coming forward. We know what he's going to do. So if Rigondeaux can't figure out the timing in order to get out of the way, and in order to be able to touch Lomachenko, because Lomachenko has good reflexes too, he's going to be getting out of the way too, then it's going to be tough for Rigondeaux to pull out the win. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say I believe that Rigondeaux is that good. I believe that Rigondeaux is going to be able to figure out Lomachenko's timing, and it's going to be a relatively easy night for Rigondeaux, because even though Rigondeaux has never fought anyone like Lomachenko, Lomachenko has never fought anyone like Rigondeaux. Never. Never, 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 never. Okay? Maybe someone close, but never. Okay? I think that Rigondeaux probably has more experience fighting someone like Lomachenko than Lomachenko has of fighting someone like Rigondeaux. I think Rigondeaux is one of a kind. I think Rigondeaux is going to be doing some things in there that are really going to confuse Lomachenko, all right, and have him on the defensive. You know what I mean? But but that's what I think. That's what I think. I think that Rigondeaux will end up pulling this out. I think it'll go to 12 rounds. Rigondeaux will win a unanimous decision, 12-round victory over Lomachenko. I think that Lomachenko, there's also a possibility he could stop Rigondeaux. If Rigondeaux can't figure out Lomachenko's timing, okay, if he can't get out of the way defensively, if he can't if he can't land any punch, or if he can't land his shots effectively, because I'm not sure what the reach is, but that's gonna play a role too. Um, if you know if Lomachenko can keep his distance while throwing punches, you know what I mean, and Rigondeaux kind of has to jump into his shots, that's gonna be very difficult for Rigondeaux. But if Rigondeaux can if Rigondeaux can't get out of the way, if he can't figure out Lomachenko's timing, it's gonna be very rough for him, because he's gonna be getting hit a lot because of the attrition, because of the pressure that Lomachenko is gonna be putting on, and he's not gonna be able to hit Lomachenko. So I think that Lomachenko could possibly stop Rigondeaux if that happens, if Rigondeaux can't figure that out. I think if Lomachenko doesn't stop him, then Lomachenko could win a unanimous decision. Also, if Rigondeaux can't figure that out, because Rigondeaux has a lot of heart. I could see Rigondeaux getting beat up like that throughout the course of a fight and still making it to the 12 rounds. Ultimately, the weight could be a little bit too much for him. The pressure could be a little bit too much for him. It's a possibility. But again, if Rigondeaux can figure him out, if Rigondeaux can get the timing, if Rigondeaux can get the rhythm, if Rigondeaux can pick up on those things early on in the fight, then it's going to be a very long night for Lomachenko, and he's going to be getting hit all night long. He's going to be getting hit. Yeah, man. He's going to be getting hit. But ultimately, man, I think Rigondeaux will be able to do it, like I said earlier. I think he will be able to do it. I think he'll be able to pull out the victory. And I think Rigondeaux will win a 12-round unanimous decision. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Hit it up in the comment section below. You can also hit me up on Twitter, BoxX or XDie. You can hit me up on Facebook, Box -sign or -die. Like the video, subscribe, all that bullshit. But until next time, it's your buddy Dynamite signing out. Holla at your motherfucking boy.